Imagine walking through a city where almost every stone has a story. Look around. Pilgrims whisper prayers. Merchants bargain in crowded markets. Church bells echo across the rooftops before fading beneath the call to prayer. It feels timeless. But these same streets have witnessed kings, prophets, conquerors, and empires for more than 3,000 years. Few places on Earth have been fought over, rebuilt, and revered as many times as this one. Why? What made one small city so valuable that empires crossed continents just to possess it? This is the entire history of Jerusalem. Long before Jerusalem became famous, it was little more than a tiny settlement on a rocky hill. If you had passed through Canaan 4,000 years ago, you probably wouldn't have stopped. There were bigger cities, richer cities, more powerful cities. So why here? The answer was surprisingly simple. Fresh water. The Gihon spring flowed beneath the hill, providing something far more valuable than gold in the ancient world. The surrounding valleys made the settlement easier to defend. It wasn't the best place to build a city. It was simply one of the safest. Nobody living there could have imagined what would come next. Because over the next 3,000 years, this forgotten hill would become the most contested city on Earth. A few centuries later, the city no longer feels forgotten. Stand beside the gates and watch soldiers enter under the banner of King David. Around 1000 BC, he captures Jerusalem and chooses it as the capital of his kingdom. Not because it was the richest or the largest, but because no tribe could truly claim it as their own. Jerusalem would never be the same again. New walls rise, markets grow busier, officials, builders, and traders arrive from every direction. Then David's son, Solomon, transforms the skyline forever. Massive blocks of limestone are lifted into place as the first temple rises above the city, becoming the religious heart of the kingdom. Pilgrims begin traveling here from across the land, and Jerusalem is no longer just another town. And that was exactly when Jerusalem's greatest troubles began. Stand on the city walls and look east. An empire is coming. Dust fills the horizon. The Babylonian army has arrived. In 586 BC, Babylon surrounds Jerusalem. The siege drags on until the walls finally fall. The streets fill with smoke, homes burn, and Solomon's magnificent temple is reduced to rubble. Thousands of people are marched into exile, leaving behind a city that seems beyond saving. For many ancient cities, this would have been the end, but not for Jerusalem. Then history takes an unexpected turn. A new ruler rises in Persia. His name is Cyrus. Instead of destroying Jerusalem, he does something almost no conqueror had ever done. Imagine walking back through these gates after years away, finding broken walls and empty streets. Instead of abandoning the city, they rebuild it stone by stone. Jerusalem has survived its first great destruction. Rome was still centuries away, but Jerusalem's greatest trial had not yet begun. Empires continue to rise and fall. Alexander the Great sweeps across the region, bringing Greek culture to Jerusalem before his empire breaks apart. But another power is already growing in the west, Rome. As Roman soldiers march through the gates, Jerusalem enters a new age. It was during Roman rule that a man from Nazareth entered Jerusalem. His name was Jesus, and the events that followed would change the course of world history. But Roman rule brings growing unrest. In AD 66, rebellion erupts. 4 years later, Roman legions return with overwhelming force. Once again, fire consumes the city. The Second Temple is destroyed, leaving behind only part of the great retaining wall that still stands today. Jerusalem is in ruins again, but Jerusalem's greatest transformation was still centuries away. Yet people refuse to let it disappear. Centuries pass, and Jerusalem rises once more. Under the Byzantine Empire, churches fill the skyline as Christian pilgrims arrive from across the world. Then, in the 7th century, the city peacefully comes under Muslim rule. Soon, a magnificent new landmark appears on the hilltop. The Dome of the Rock glitters above Jerusalem, followed by the Al-Aqsa Mosque, making the city one of Islam's holiest places. Now, something extraordinary has happened. Jews, Christians, and Muslims all look to the same city as sacred. That importance also attracts new wars. In 1099, Crusaders capture Jerusalem after a siege. Nearly a century later, Salah ad-Din enters the city once again, changing its fate yet again, beginning another chapter in the city's remarkable story. Empires continue to change. Jerusalem remains. In 1517, a new ruler arrives, the Ottomans, beginning nearly 4 centuries of relative peace. Walk through the streets now, and many of the walls surrounding you are the same ones visitors still see today, rebuilt by Sultan Suleiman the Magnificent. But the modern age is approaching fast. During the First World War, British forces take control of the city, ending centuries of Ottoman rule. Only a few decades later, Jerusalem once again becomes the center of global attention. The creation of Israel, the wars that follow, and competing claims over the city reshape its future. Yet through every change, daily life continues. Pilgrims still arrive. Markets still open every morning. Ancient stones stand beside modern buildings, reminding everyone that Jerusalem has never belonged to just one moment in history. Kingdoms have fallen, empires have vanished, religions have spread across the world, yet Jerusalem remains, still changing, still contested, and still one of the most extraordinary cities on earth. As our journey ends, take one last look around. The city before you has been conquered, destroyed, and rebuilt more times than almost any other place on earth. Kings ruled here, empires fought for it. Millions came seeking faith, hope, or simply the chance to stand where history happened. And somehow, through every victory and every defeat, Jerusalem endured. Perhaps that is why this city remains unforgettable. Not because it escaped history, but because history never stopped passing through it. More than 3,000 years later, the story of Jerusalem is still being written. Thank you for watching.